What's up, socials? Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here. Today, I wanted to talk about how I edit my YouTube thumbnails. So every single time I upload a video, there's that custom image that has to go along in there with it. I thought it'd be interesting for you to see sort of what I'm thinking about when I'm creating it and what I've noticed has helped my videos do a little bit better, making them more enticing to click on and watch, thanks to you, because you seem to enjoy them, and how that process works in building out that photo. It's kind of cool here on YouTube that we can basically say, hey, come watch us, with a really, really good title and a pretty picture. So that process is extremely important. Let's talk about how I do it. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I make new videos all the time helping you go after what you want. Hopefully this tutorial is going to help you get there and you'll enjoy it. Subscribe and come back for the next one. Let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Okay. First is the thumbnail is usually going to come from the video I'm making itself. And in the case that it's like this and I'm sitting here in a chair in front of my bookshelf and I'm going to talk to you about something, I have to first pose to take a photo that will later be the thumbnail. So I basically just sit here and start smiling at the camera and kind of doing different things and pointing in different directions and looking in different directions so that when I'm going into my editor to edit the video later, I can export a photo from the video footage that will be the basis of the thumbnail. Great, we've got one. So we're gonna export that as either a JPEG or PNG, whatever it is that your software will allow you to use. If you're gonna have to do this in a way that's like, I don't know where the export button for a photo is, then you know what? Just take a screen capture of your screen. We've all been in those situations, so just do what you gotta do. From there, I take that photo and I upload it into PicMonkey.com. This is one of my favorite photo editing web apps. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to have software on your computer. You can definitely pay for the upgrades that they have to offer, and I do recommend some of them, but you could upload your photo and edit it for free on PicMonkey.com. The reason why I like to use this tool in particular is because I feel like there's a little bit more to work with in terms of making edits to the actual photo than other web apps out there. So I upload the photo, I'll increase brightness a little bit, I'll change up contrast and sharpness, just depending on how the photo looks already. You don't want to do a ton of editing to it because ideally you want something that's very natural to what the video is going to look like. But if there are some improvements you can make, that's what PicMonkey is really nice for. You can continue to edit in PicMonkey. There's a lot of great tools here, shapes, text, and lots of effects. And I've certainly used a lot of effects in PicMonkey in the past in my thumbnails, but lately they've been much more simplistic. And I use another tool that I like a little bit better for this second part of the process. And I will take that new export of the photo and upload it to Canva.com. The reason I like to use Canva is just the incredible amount of things you can save in your archives in your account. It's really easy to just duplicate an old thumbnail and use that as the starting point for what you're gonna do next. So if you make this thumbnail for the first time and you kind of like the way it looks and want it to be consistent going forward, then using Canva to kind of duplicate is really, really great. So I'll duplicate an old thumbnail, and because I know that's gonna have some of the coloring that I want and the text that I want, and I know I'm just gonna change up sizes and what the copy says, so it's really easy to just work with an old thumbnail. And then uploading the new export from PicMonkey will get started here. I will delete the old photo and just pop it in here. But if you're not familiar, obviously, with where I got the assets that are here already, this is basically just a white, somewhat transparent block that I like to use to put behind text. And then the text is very, very easy and plain, but it's my favorite kind of font because it's the font that we used on the cover of the book. And what I like about Canva is it allows you to get a little bit more creative with the spacing between lines, the spacing between letters, and that tends to be really important when you're putting copy on a thumbnail. The reason I like to put copy on my custom thumbnails is because you're basically given a second opportunity to have a miniature headline. So maybe what you put in the title of the video is search friendly and people friendly, but there might be something even more people friendly that would not help you from a search perspective at all that you can put in the thumbnail. And those two opportunities together, the title and the copy in the thumbnail, might pull somebody in more effectively than if it was just a photo. But in other scenarios, the photo tells enough of a story that you don't need to do that. You really just need to play it by ear. Vlog Like a Boss, the series we did in January, all of those made sense to not put copy on the thumbnail at all, because they weren't necessarily tutorials or anything specific. It was a documentation of my day. So we wanted to show you the best moment of that day, so we just left the photo blank, but then gave you a title to get you thinking about what this episode could be. So that's one play. But in this situation where this is like, oh, this is a tutorial on how to make a YouTube thumbnail, I want it to be abundantly obvious that that's what it is, and that you're gonna wanna pick my video over the rest of them when you're deciding who you trust to make this happen. And so that's why I really like copy in the thumbnail. So you're simply dragging and dropping the assets here. It's very simple. Type what you want. You know, think about, if I were a human seeing this video in referral or in search, what would I want to see in the thumbnail to know that this is the right choice for me? That's what you should be doing here. The really cool thing is, if you don't want to do anything I just did, Canva actually has a lot of templates to work with for a YouTube thumbnail. So you can just pull up anything that they've pre-created for you and drop in whatever you need to. What I will say is, I think people make a huge mistake when they get really excited about putting copy in a thumbnail and then make it too small, or make too much copy to even have time to read. If the words that are on top of the photo of your custom thumbnail are A, exactly the same as your title, or B, way too many words and too small to read. When we think about thumbnails, they're teeny tiny, potentially on a phone screen. You are probably not using copy to the most effective capacity that it will do you any favors in a YouTube thumbnail. Keep it simple. 2, 3, 4 words maybe. Really, really simple to encourage further action. It doesn't have to be another opportunity to write a novel. Okay, you already made the content. It's in the video. So just get to your point. That is how I edit my YouTube thumbnails. Hopefully that was useful for you. Let me know in the comments, and if you would like to see another tutorial like this, give this video a big thumbs up. I appreciate it. That's all for today's socials. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. As always, make sure you subscribe for good vibes. And as always, remember to go after what you want. Cheers.